What is going on, everybody? Jumbo Thick here, back with more Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, our 4th edition campaign, The Rise of the Forsaken. I am, of course, joined by the Unfortunate Fellowship, our usual cast and crew, plus with our special guest. He is still here. His character has not died yet. Yet is the key word. But would you guys like to introduce yourselves while we're here? We'll start off with Mr. Jumbo Smooth.
Hello everyone, I'm Jumbo Smooth. I'll be playing the role of Marius Wolf. I'm a master miner. From the town of Sealberg, just trying to see what's on the other side of this tunnel. Real excited.
Indeed. Mr. Doobie, 209.
What's going on, everybody? Doobie 209 here, playing, as you know, Seamus McGreedy.
Mm-hmm.
The blood champion, blood god.
Oh, God.
Blood for Seamus.
Let's not do that again.
Seamus' horse.
Let's not do that again. And Mr. Pierce Galactic.
I don't think I can top Blood for Seamus, but
You probably can't.
Man, I wish I could. Yes, I'm Pierce Galactic. I'm grateful to be back again to make another attempt with Bragadin Bonneau.
Mm-hmm.
Just a minor noble courtier from Paravon, Bretonia.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm. And we are going with Bonneau, or are we going with Benoit?
Bonneau.
Bonneau. Okay.
Bragadin Bonneau.
Bonneau. Got it. Okay. Well, sounds like we are ready to kick it in, guys. I am excited. I am, of course, I'm a little tired today. I just got back from my trip, but the show must go on. So, last we left off, our crew stumbled across Mr. Bonneau, who was apparently kidnapped by some despicable rat-like creatures, dragged into this heinous tunnel for God knows what. Some hints may have been dropped at certain points, if you guys have your notes. So, yeah, there is that. You, of course, Seamus and Marius easily, well, maybe not so easily, for the most part, easily destroyed all of the Blood God's followers in the tunnel that they came across on their way to the other side. You are, of course, given direction by one Mother Inga for some kind of mystical quest that apparently has been set into motion. God knows what's going on. I guess we're going to have to find out soon. But you stumbled across Mr. Bonneau inside of this tunnel. You decided to take him into your charge, as is known to be done before, to not great effect occasionally. But you not only did not manage to keep Mr. Bonneau safe, you almost let him die. Yes.
Twice.
Yeah, twice. It was twice, in fact.
Even as I ran behind Seamus to protect myself.
It's true, and Seamus...
He was so brave.
He was. I mean, I will say this. I will say, the man's got some balls on him. He tried to stab a demon with a little dagger.
That is why I'm so short, because my big balls hold me close to the ground.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is. So, yes, he maybe got a little too foolhardy. Just maybe. Maybe just a little bit. But we'll see how that goes. Currently, you don't have a weapon because you threw it off into the darkness. So, yeah, you're definitely...
Father gave me that dagger, too. Wait till my father
I know. Good luck finding that thing. Well, you can... It's probably sitting somewhere next to Seamus's pouch of money that he threw in the previous tunnel. It'll probably never be found.
Man.
So
at least it has a friend.
Exactly. So that about brings us up to speed. You had just made it to the edge. You are about to step through the precipice to get out of this godforsaken tunnel. And that is pretty much where we left off. Did I miss anything important, do you guys think?
Did you mention how dashing Bragadin was?
Yes, all 5'3" of this lovely, lovely man. So dashing. So elegant. So covered in, scaven excrement and blood currently.
Your insult will be remembered, peasant.
Yeah. So, I can't wait to murder you now. Okay, then let's just pick it up then, boys. So currently, I'm assuming Bragadine is in the lead. He was making a mad dash for this doorway, so he's probably going to be the first one through, and then probably shortly followed by Seamus, and then of course Marius bringing up the rear. Bragadine, this is the first time you have... Well, no, it's not, because you felt it going through originally. This is... Well, no, you didn't, because you weren't awake completely. But anyways, you feel a cold, tingly sensation go across your skin as you push your way through this translucent, almost shimmering film of sorts that's filling this doorway. There's bright light spilling in, and you push your way through it. It's almost kind of like gelatin as you push through it, and it's tingling and prickly. It's not a very pleasant feeling by any means. Of course, Seamus and Marius are used to this at this point, but you yourself probably not so much. You push your way through, Bragadine, and I'm going to need you to make me a athletics check.
Oh, not a problem. I even got some new dice. Oh, can we start with a number 1?
Number 1?
Oh,
Critical success? Wow. Man, I'm going to have to give you something for this. Okay.
I'm a Bernot.
So, Mr. Bernot, you push your way through, and what feels like there's nothing below your feet as you step through. You are at almost a dash, so you're moving at great speed. It feels like you are just hovering on air as you step through, and you glance down, and very almost acrobatically, there is about a 5-foot drop below your feet to the ground beneath, and you get just a quick glance in your immediate surroundings, and you are definitely not in this tunnel any longer. But you very, very graciously land on your feet and do not small smack onto your face. And since you got your critical success, not only do you land on your feet, but you, thinking to the 2 men quickly coming behind you, managed to have the forethought to move away from where you just landed, as they will probably be smashing behind you. So, Seamus, go ahead and roll me a agility, athletics test, and then Marius, you as well.
Oh, I got a 68.
I'm assuming that's a fail.
It's a fail.
Yes.
I got a 38 out of 26.
How bad of a fail was that for you, Marius?
1 and some.
One and some. Okay, so you just one,
not 2.
Yeah, just one failure, 1 degree of failure.
Yeah.
So, Seamus feels pretty bad as he's running. But no, you glance behind you and you see Seamus he's almost goes like head first, and he does a dive. He does a dive straight off and smacks his skull on the ground, 5-foot drop. You take
Oh, no.
eight wounds from smacking your head.
Oh, Jesus.
You can subtract your toughness bonus, of course, and any armor that might be present on your head, which there is none. So subtract your toughness bonus. Are you still awake?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Seamus cracks his head pretty good. Marius, you stumble after him, and you don't go head first with just a degree of failure, but you land kind of awkwardly on your ankle, and you take 3 wounds, but you can subtract your toughness bonus, so you're just end up just taking 1. Okay. And you land kind of hard, but Beno, thank God, didn't fail his test, and because he was on death's door again. And so he is. You watch this happen before you, Beno.
He is quite grateful. Bragadin is quite grateful.
Mm-hmm. And you guys are free to do as you please.
Ah,
Oh, the lady, what was that?
Oh, my fucking head hurts.
Well, maybe you should fall on it, you fool.
I can't wait for these dark deals.
Since the man who just fell off the thing we tried to climb last session. Where are we? What is this thing?
Look.
Okay.
I'd like to be kind of looking around,
All right.
holding my ankle.
Here's so we can do this one of 2 ways. We can either do a group check where one person does the check and then they can get assistance to the roll, or you can each roll individually.
I would probably assist Seamus.
Okay.
Fine, it's my vote.
Mr.
I
Beno?
am very perceptive.
All right, I'll be happy to do that too.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you can add a plus 20 to your perception, Seamus, and then go ahead and make me a roll.
I rolled a 12 out of 71.
Oh, wow.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so you're all, I mean, after what just happened, you're in kind of a manic state, and you begin taking in your surroundings. Besides the ridiculous drop that just happened, you notice that you guys are, it's, first off, it was hot in the tunnel, but it was more of a wet, a very damp kind of heat. You are in a very, very dry environment, and it is still hot, but it is dry here. You begin looking around, and it smells of vegetation. You can see very thick, almost jungle-like forest about you, but without the humidity, of course. And many of the trees look thin and dry. And you notice that the ground beneath your feet is not moist. It is coarse and rocky. And then as you glance back at the tunnel behind you, you of course see the very familiar doorway that is currently solid stone. And it is of course 5 feet off of the ground. And it looks like at one point there were steps of some sort that used to lead up to it, but you see bricks and stone cast about. But another interesting thing about this particular doorway is, unlike the one you came through in Nippon, the frame of this door appears to be made from solid gold and inlaid with precious gems. And it's just there on this slab of rock.
Oh.
How many degrees of success was that, Seamus?
Oh, jeez. Let's see. About 6 successes.
6. Oh, okay, that's very good. With 6, and I will say this just with 6, because you had to at least have 6 to see what's about to happen. You will also notice easily.
Wait, what? What's about to happen?
You will also notice easily that there are several bodies of like chaos, corrupted human-looking cultists laying around the nearby kind of immediate area that you're in. They look very much dead. You also see a few more corpses that appear to be wearing the livery of men of the Empire. And you, of course, recognize the colors as that of the unit that you were a part of all so long ago. looking closely, and I'm assuming Seamus, since you're probably the one kind of leading this investigation, you get close enough to some of the Imperial corpses since they appear to be more fresh than the rest. And you see that they have these very small barbs littered around their remains and in their flesh. They're almost like red-tipped darts, and where the pinpricks are in the skin, it almost looks like there's a rapid decay around the immediate flesh. Obviously some type of poison in these darts. And they have red tips. Also, with 6 levels of success, as you guys are all kind of glancing about, Mr. Bonneau, since you are kind of standing away a little bit more from these peasants, you would hear a rustling in the nearby wooded area nearby. And as you glanced over, you would just get a glimpse, just a moment, of a reptilian face about the size of a small human, about some kind of lizard-like creature that is standing on 2 legs. It's about 30 feet into the woods, and it looks at you, and you just get a glance. And it has these large yellow eyes with like deep black pupils. And you see on top of its head a fin of sorts, a crest, and it is blood red. And it sees you, and this is instantaneous, and it immediately ducks off, and you lose track of it.
I assume that I am already right up behind Marius, cowering in fear, and I tap him and pat him on the shoulder. Over there, what was that? A monster.
Oh, yes. Friend, don't startle me. And I kind of look to where he's pointing at.
He was right over there.
It's
a fish man.
Whatever it was, a fish man. Whatever it was, it's gone. But it appears that some of the leaves, and matter of fact, like probably one of the bushes is still kind of moving a little bit. So it's obvious with your guys' massive success levels that something was there.
Seamus, there was something out there. It could have been something that did all this. Do I see all the saving dead bodies, I guess, as well? Maybe. Or is it just Seamus?
No, all of you would see those. All of you would see those. Seamus is the only one who picks out the particular method of killing, though.
Okay. Might have killed these poor wretches. Do we see anything that's like could be considered shelter around here?
As you glance about, this is just woods. You do see that there are strange groupings of the trees, almost like they were at one point groomed to be in a certain place, but it looks like they've just gotten out of control, like something hasn't been doing upkeep around this area. And you do see that there are stone slabs, massive stone slabs that look out of place. It's obvious that there was some kind of structure here at some point, but you don't see anything you can like cower behind. Now, I will say it is like early morning if you're judging by looking up and seeing the sun. It's early in the day.
Gentlemen, we are in some kind of garden. Look at that over there. Look at how the trees are groomed, how the rocks are laid out. This is like one of the noble houses. Where is this? What is this place?
Now, I will say this, Mr. Bonneau, since you are from Bretonia, you would have a very good recognition of ruins, specifically ruins that are not man-made. And though they do not look as elegant as the ruins of your homeland, they do have certain similarities. And you can definitely tell that these are not... it's not a ruined temple of men or something of that sort. It's something else.
I would like to go up and maybe take a closer look. See if it does look familiar. With that, can I try and get some more information? Or
Sure.
Just the awareness you already said.
You can. Specifically, this I'm kind of giving you this more because of your kind of writing background. I'm assuming
Okay.
you kind of grow up on stories and things of that sort. So
yeah.
get me
Mother would be-
this is going to be a intelligence-based writing check. Almost like this is essentially like a history check. And that's kind of how we're going to do some of your stuff. Mr. Benoit?
Mr. Benoit forgot he was muted.
There we go.
And asked quite a detailed question. Whoops. All right. So Mr. Benoit has the skill of art of writing. He has the talent of read and write.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
you
just
can just
the skill. So take the whatever the skill is, and then add it to your
Okay.
intelligence, and then try to roll underneath that.
All right. Mr. Benoit is not the smartest man. So let us see if we can emulate that previous. Oh my. Oh, Mr. Benoit rolled a 2
Ooh, yeah.
under
Ooh.
32.
Wow.
Okay, good, very good. 3 levels of success.
Wow.
Okay. So with 3
Nice.
levels of success, as you kind of get closer to some of the more chiseled rock, first off, you notice that there is some writing on this. It's nothing you can read, but you do discern it as writing on some of these, some kind of glyphs. And it sparks some recognition, and you recognize them as patterns you saw back in the hellish tunnel that you just emerged from. So whoever made this, whatever this it used to be, also crafted the tunnel that you came through.
Oh, gentlemen, look here. This place. This must be made by the same people of where we just came from. I see the similar structure in this writing there. The same words, just about.
Oh, dude. Gonna read what it says.
Oh, here, no, Seamus, surely you can read. Take a chance yourself. Surely you can read too.
I can't be bothered. I gotta reload my crossbow.
Oh,
All right,
God.
it's all right. It's okay, man. Yeah, make sure you clean up after my horse later too.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Seamus.
I don't know if I want to go this route, but we're already down it.
I think we should possibly move away from this place and try to rest up and heal up. It looks like our young heathen friend over here is close to Moore's door, as it were. Let's be quick.
I don't know of this door you're speaking of, but I feel terrible. I mean, I am filthy. I am. By the lady, I'm still bleeding. We must do something. First, help me see if there's a dagger. Perhaps I can grab a knife or a dagger from one of these wretched corpses around here. Can I search see if any way I can try and loot a knife or a weapon? See if
I
any
will
of them
say,
have that.
Marius and Seamus are pretty familiar with with weapons of
I have that impression.
of people that are of the chaotic persuasion and would probably not recommend picking up the weapons from them. But there are also a few corpses of Imperial soldiers that Seamus is looking at. And if Seamus so chooses, he could probably point those out to you, and you could easily get a hold of a short sword if he chooses to point them out to you. You have been kind of a dick to him, though. I don't know.
Oh, I know. Ragadine's about to regret this.
Meredith, I don't see any weapons over here. I don't see any bows either. Or any arrows.
Oh, that's
What about, see that man with the horns, he has a club. Should I grab that?
Sure.
no, that's
yeah,
too big for
go
you.
go ahead and go ahead and
My arms are. You were probably right.
come here,
I'll-
come
I'll-
here, my foreign friend. Let's come here. And
Gentlemen, you
I
are
pull
so
out,
generous. Thank you.
I pull-
Seamus, thank you.
I pull out a my one-handed pick from it's just a small little pick.
It is. It's a little. It's a one-handed
like a Minecraft
pick.
looking pick.
Yeah, like a little Minecraft pick. It's
All
one-handed.
right. Okay.
I hand it to you. I'm like, here you go. You know, I feel like someone of your stature would be able to wield this with, devastating effect.
Mm-hmm.
And I hand
Sir,
it to
did you
him.
get this in Silberg? I recognize the construction.
Oh, yes, I did. It is fine quality. Here you go.
Did you know my family owns the mine there? I'm actually familiar with it.
What is your last name, sir?
As I stand to my entire height of 5'3", I grab my cap and, with a flourish and a proper bow, I am Bragadin Bonneau.
Never heard of you. And I continue to kind of look around with Seamus to see if we can find some place that's
Okay.
One-handed.
away
Yes.
from here. Let's go, Seamus. Unless there's some type of artifact or something that we need. Our last adventure in that hellish place required us to get this damn book, and that turned out great. So let's get the hell out of here.
I want to know more about his family owning the mine. Marius. We gotta come back to that subject later.
Oh yes. Let's talk about
My
this
mother,
later.
her family is from Silberg. They own the mine. They control the entire town of Silberg. I will tell you all about it.
Oh
What's
man.
her name?
Oh well, my mother
Oh.
is Lady Erica Silberg.
Your Lady Erica Silverg. Again, never heard of her. And then I would
Continue walking.
I thought you were from
Continue
the
on.
Empire. Oh, we must.
I'm gonna grab him by his collar and start pulling if he's still talking.
Yes.
But,
It's rough. It's rough. It's like oh. Drags you along. Your pick is a +4 weapon that you are proficient with.
Oh my!
Mr.
Plus
Bonneau.
4.
Yes, it's a +4. It's your strength bonus +4. It's considered a basic melee weapon. So you have basic melee. So you can use it. So
All right.
there you go.
How adorable.
Exactly. So you have a little hand pick. Which is awesome. All right. So you
Looking
guys
for
begin
babies.
trudging forward. I'm not going to make you roll your test again. Actually, you know what? I will give you this one because you rolled so high, Seamus. You know, you're kind of more of the scoutish type out of the three people here. And
Yeah, I'm in the front.
you're up front, and you kind of notice that there's a bit of a path. It looks like this door used to lead to somewhere. And it looks like you're kind of in a hillish, kind of mountainous region. And it's at this point, after just a few minutes, that you kind of pick out that you think you have a direction that might go somewhere. You have no idea where the hell you're at or where you're going, but this might go somewhere. And you begin moving in that direction. We will continue this way unless you guys have anything else you would like to do.
Gentlemen, please, if we can find the stream, I'm afraid somehow one of those rat creatures must have pissed on my pants. I would just need a few. I would just like to freshen up and clean myself for just a few minutes. If we can find a stream or a pond, perhaps.
I
beg
Mr.
you,
Beno,
Seamus,
Mr.
do
Beno,
you see
look
one?
up on that tree. Look up that tree, Mr. Beno. Did you see it?
I'm looking up in the tree.
I knocked him upside the head with my crossbow.
With the butt of your crossbow?
Yeah, like, trying to knock him out.
Okay. Just make me a weapon attack, and he's unsuspecting, so it's a +20.
Oh shit!
Go ahead and make me a basic melee
Oh
attack.
mercy! Oh lady!
Oh, I'm gonna fail. I rolled a 97.
Oh,
Do
man,
you
I
wanna-
don't
you wanna use a
I
fortune
really want
point?
you to succeed.
Yeah,
Do
this
it.
is the fortune
Do
point.
it.
Use that
Ah!
fortune point.
Ooh, yeah, I passed on this one.
What'd you get?
It's a 37, and if it's melee basic, it's a 37 out of 55.
Okay, so Mr. Beno, you take so 3, 4, 5.
No.
You take 6 wounds, and Seamus
no.
bludgeons you in the side of the head with his
All
with the
right.
butt of his crossbow.
So we haven't addressed my previous injuries yet, have we?
I'm assuming you are at 1 hit point, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I was at 1 hit point, and that
So,
would take me with my
He's not.
toughness
I'm
bonus
assuming Seamus isn't trying to kill him. So it's
believe
not.
I'm prone.
So you're going to drop to 0, and you're going to be unconscious, but you're not dead. So
All right.
that is what happens.
You're just sleepy.
You're sleepy until someone wakes you up. You are apparently are unconscious. So Marius Seamus just clocks, but no, just I mean, back of the crossbow. He goes down for the count.
That's really called for. I mean, sure, he was talkative, but I'm holding him in my arms, I assume, as he kind of like fell unconscious.
Yes.
See, Marius, back to normal. You're always carrying somebody everywhere you go.
It's, I'm trying to check to see if he's still alive. Like
He's
you know.
you can tell he's still alive. He's just apparently he's a pansy.
I'm murmuring in my
He
dreams.
smells like human piss, because you know what rat piss smells like. He pissed himself.
Yeah.
In addition, all this
Oh,
blood
jeez.
and everything else on him. But yes, you're carrying.
Marius would probably feel. Marius feel, deep inside, probably feel sorry for him. Like, this wee man, he's had a rough day.
It's true. It's
And
true.
Just take me home and tuck me into bed.
he's holding him, and he's like, oh, jeez. All right, it's probably better this way anyway. And I kind of like throw over my shoulder, fireman carry style.
Got it.
And as long as I don't feel like he's in danger of like dying, I'm going to continue just like to carry. I'm gonna just follow Seamus and try to find some shelter. Or something.
We continue like this for about an hour or so. Mr. Beno's still unconscious, not doing very well. He's not dead, of course. He's not dead. He's not in danger of dying. He's just unconscious. Along the way, you guys come across a few like freakishly large lizards. I'm talking about like an alligator style sized lizard that just kind of doesn't really pay you guys much mind, just kind of looks at you as you pass. And you can tell that there's definitely a path that was carved through here at some point. You start to see on the ground that there's markings, almost like there was stone in place, like this used to be a well-traveled area. You continue forward for another hour, so you're 2 hours into this godforsaken land, and it's hot. It's so hot, and your throats are getting a little dry. Oof! It's not looking. It's not looking good. It's not looking good, boys. You're still in the forest.
We do have supplies.
You have supplies.
Still, correct?
You have supplies.
Okay.
You reach the edge of what you think is the edge of this not so dense forest. It's starting to get more and more sparse, and you realize that you're definitely in the mountains. Somewhere. You will have no idea where, but you can see mountains ahead of you. And Marius, with your previous visions, you would easily be able to tell as you kind of glance up that one of the mountains looks very, very familiar, almost like a deja vu. And you just have it in your mind that that's probably where you want to go. Now, it looks like it's going to be, if you're decent in the mountains, Marius. If you were judging, you'd probably say it's going to take you at least a day to get up to the foot of that mountain. If you guys so choose. I will say at this point it is about midday. A few hours have passed. and you guys are free to do as you please. Beno is still unconscious.
Kind of twirl Beno around on my shoulder. Just kind of fling around, like kind of talk to Seamus. Seamus, this mountain. I feel like this is where we must go. I've seen it in that vision I told you about, falling in that puddle. Quite
I
a
want to ride the pony.
Unless, it's like old times. If you say we gotta
yes.
go there, then we gotta go. Maybe along the way we'll encounter those elves again.
Yes, good friends, good people. And then it's like another mountain to climb. But we really should take care of our small friend here. I don't feel like Shalia's mercy will grace him for much longer.
No, it's just that thing out of the tree just fell on his head and knocked him out cold. I don't know.
That is what he will have to. I will not say anything, and then
That's
like
I'm telling you, that's what I saw, Marius.
I really try to. If are we kind of in a clearing right now, so that we can see?
Yeah,
we're
you're
still
out.
in jungle.
You're outside of it, and it wasn't even very thick. It was starting to become
Okay.
more and more sparse. So you're definitely outside of the tree line at this point.
Okay, is it just like desert sand around us right now?
It's not sand. It is definitely rocky and mountainous.
Okay.
You're in the mountains. It is dry as hell though. So if you had to judge, you would
arid.
think that it's very arid. We're talking to like like Mojave Desert. So yeah.
Just Seamus. You can figure out some place for us to settle down for the evening. I think it would be best for all of us.
We're not going to get very far, Marius, until we find some water.
Very true. I guess we continue on. I kind of shake the Mr. Beno to see if he's still unconscious.
He currently still is unconscious unless you choose to actually wake him up.
I'll let him rest. And then I lead on Seamus.
Okay. Mr. Seamus. Let's see here. Are you looking for shelter? Are you looking for water? What are we doing here?
Judging by how hot it is and how far we've walked, probably looking for water at the moment.
Okay. Do you have any skills that might help you in this endeavor? Do you have outdoor survival, for instance?
I do have outdoor survival. That's the only one. Just
Make
that
me
and perception.
an outdoor survival check, and I'm assuming Marius, you have it as well, don't you?
That I do.
Okay, so if you want to help him, he can have a +10 to his roll.
I will do so.
Okay, so roll with a +10.
All right. That is going to be a 50 out of 56.
Okay, that's a good thing you had that that extra help. So, Seamus, just from partnering with Marius as long as you have, and Sealburg's a mining town, very, very in the mountains itself, though a different type of mountains than this, not as arid for sure. But you kind of get a lay of the land as you're kind of up on a hill looking down, and you can see that there is in fact a small stream that appears to be feeding down into the more lush parts of the forest further down. But you kind of follow the path that the water would take, and it just so happens that it is nearby. It's magic how that happens sometimes. So it's about a 20-30 minute walk, but you all climb really. But you manage to get to the water to the water source, and you scare off a couple of those giant lizards that just kind of eyeball you sideways, and then just go on their way. And these things are about 5 feet long. They're big. They're almost human size, in fact. And they just kind of like crawl away from you. Looks like some of them were just kind of basking in the sun. And you are at your water source.
So let's see. I want to check my equipment here, see if I have anything that can store water in.
I'm gonna say you would at least, if you don't see anything, you would at least have something, a jug or a skin or something that you could collect water with.
Yeah. I assume some type of skin.
Yeah.
That's maybe this would be a good spot to refresh and maybe tend to our wounds.
Yes, let's try to set up camp if we can.
Maybe wake somebody up.
I kind of, if we're setting up camp,
Yes.
and once we're done with setting up camp, I'd probably try to, boil the water, all that good stuff.
Yes.
But before I boil the water, I'd like to take Mr. Bernot. How big is the stream? This is a stream, right? It's not like a river.
It's not very big. It's just it's a small kind of stream coming off of the kind of lip of the mountain that you're on.
I would like to take him and just kind of toss him into the stream.
Okay. Face first.
So, not face first, just kind of like a gentle,
What's happening?
gentle drop in there, just to kind of wake him up.
Mr.
They're
Bernot.
trying to waterboard me, right? Okay.
The somewhat it's not very cold. It's more of a just kind of room temperature feel to this water. A stark contrast in how hot it is outside, though. You feel the water immediately, and you shock awake with one wound. You have 1 hit point, and you are currently awake.
Oh,
my.
Master of the Steelberg Mine. Welcome. You fell asleep.
Oh, what
and,
happened? I thought I saw Seamus came up behind me. He must have, whatever hit me, he must have been trying to save me. Seamus, I've got you all wrong. Please accept my humble apologies.
They are
Twice now you've tried to protect me.
We thought
You know
you
what,
could use a bath because of that rat pee, and I use like air quotes.
It was astonishing. It must have been trying to mark its territory. As you can tell, a man of my stature would
Surely.
never fall to such foul behavior.
Mm-hmm.
You said you were from Britonia, correct?
Oh, Paravan. Yes. My father is. He's checking his notes. My father is Lord Nathan Bonneau, and he married my mother, Lady Erica Silberg, from the Reichland, many years ago, and we now have a very successful family there in Paravan.
So are you a man of the Empire, or are you a Bretonian?
Well, I am Bretonian. I'm a civilized man, one of culture and refinement.
Maybe it's
very
talk to you like that.
From the land of opportunity for all.
I kind of look at Seamus and be like, we have very different definitions of civilized. The things I hear about Bretonians worshipping some woman in a lake, barbarians, and then well, you're with her right now in this water, and I kind of like get up a big scoop of water, like in a cooking pan, and like take it back to boil it.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of leave him there. Well, Master, what's his name, Seamus? Yes, but no. Whenever you are done with your bath, come join us at our camp that we set up.
Okay. And you easily can clean yourself off in this small stream. trying to reprise what dignity you have left in front of these peasant folk, who obviously struck you. It's obvious. There's a massive knot on the side of your head that didn't used to be there, and there's no way in hell you believe Seamus. And maybe you do though. Seamus, roll me a charm check, and we'll see how this goes.
That's what I'm talking about.
And Beno,
here we go.
Beno, roll me a cool check to see if you if you fall for this.
Bad. All right, let me. I'm gonna try a cool check. All right. Oh yeah. All right. 26 out of 37.
Okay, so that's 2 degrees. No, 26. 1 degree of success. Seamus.
Okay.
I got a 37 out of 41.
So just a success. So Mr. Bonneau does not believe you. But he apparently is going with it anyway because he's probably seeing that he's in the presence of two, let's just say more able-bodied men. And is deciding to keep his mouth shut.
I like to remind him too that I'm, like a foot taller than he is.
It is true. You are
I'm
literally a foot taller than him. So, yes.
I will reach into my pouch, take up my comb, and comb my hair.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, get that quaff going.
Mate, it's gotta... What the hell are you doing over there, mate?
I am looking the part.
God,
I'm a man of Bretonia. I'm a man of dignity and refinement. Sometimes this takes a little work. So perhaps I can show you someday.
Of all the people, Marius, we could have found in that tunnel, we had to find this one.
So fortunate you are.
I'm assuming we're kind of sitting around the campfire now.
Yes, you're the fire at this point. He's sitting over there combing in his hair. I would like to remind you guys, mechanically, you can attempt to heal your wounds once a day, in addition to your normal resting that you guys can do.
I would like to try and do that.
You cannot do it, Mr. Bonneau, because you do not have the heal skill. So you are at the mercy. You're at the mercy of these two men if you want to be healed by them. But if you guys want to do that, do you guys want to do each other? I know this sounded super weird.
Yeah, I want to watch you do each other.
But like, Marius, do you want to patch up Seamus? Seamus, you want to patch up Marius? Maybe one of you gets like a denim jacket on and holds the other.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that happens at some point. It might. But
Denim jacket?
denim jacket. Regardless. So how are we doing this?
Ow, Marius, be careful.
Yeah, exactly.
First, you're gonna feel a pinch.
I guess we probably try to patch each other up. If it's something we can't reach, if it's like a back wound or something.
So, Marius, you roll me a heal check to see what you do to Seamus.
Okay.
My safe word.
Ooh. I got it's not a critical, but I got 30 out of 41.
Okay. What is your intelligence bonus?
Is it my 4? Intelligence bonus is 3.
Okay. So you got a 30. So that's 1. So you heal 4 wounds, Seamus. So it's your intelligence bonus plus your success level is what you heal. Nice. Seamus, I'm assuming you want to try to patch up Marius.
Yeah, tell Marius to, take his clothes off.
I slowly take off.
No, he does not. This is getting super fan fiction-y. Just make your roll, damn it.
Shit.
Ragadean enjoys watching.
Exactly.
I got an 18 out of 51.
Oh wow. Okay then.
I crushed it.
You did. That's pretty good. You pick up on this pretty quickly, Seamus, especially in your career path that you have delved into. You see a lot of wounds and inflict quite a few yourself, and so you know how to. You've gotten a lot more practice than Marius has. So, how many success levels is that, Seamus?
What was it? 18.
18 out of 51 was
3
that?
levels, yeah.
Okay, so whatever. So just do the math real quick with your intelligence bonus, and then just tell him what that is.
Well, my intelligence it's a straight 41. I don't have any advances in it.
Okay, yeah, so that's 4. So 4 plus your success levels. So a pretty decent chunk.
7? Nice.
Yeah, 7 wounds. Does anybody want to attempt to heal your downtrodden friend?
If Seamus doesn't, Marius would probably.
Oh, gentlemen, you're looking much better. Perhaps you can help me bind these wounds over here, perhaps.
Marius will begrudgingly attempt to
Over here,
heal.
Lord of Lord.
Go ahead and roll
Young
me
Lord
that
of
heal
Silver.
check, Marius.
You look
Okay.
pretty okay, apart from that nasty knock on the head from that thing that fell out of the tree.
Yes. I
Very nice.
perhaps
I
next
rolled
time you'll
a-
be able to catch it before it hits me.
I rolled a 7 out of 41.
Ooh.
Oh
nice.
wow.
Oh, that-
Okay, so
that
yeah,
sounds
that's
nice.
so is that 6 wounds?
That's, yes, 6 wounds.
Yeah, so you regained 6 wounds, Mr. Bonneau, that you needed very, very desperately. All right.
Oh, thank you, sir. What was your name, peasant? It was Marius. Thank you. Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much. If you ever come to
Yeah.
Silberg, I will make sure I can find a job for you there. I will.
Y-
I will. I promise you. I promise you.
Yeah,
A man of your
Mr.
intellect, good, strong mind, adorable pics. I know just the
Mr.
place for you.
Of course. Mr. Bonneau, I don't believe I actually, seen you around town very much. Seamus and I both live there. Seamus is quite famous. He has one
I
of the
spend
headsmen.
most of my time at the estate in Pettervon.
On
On occasion, we travel there to visit the relations and to collect taxes.
Okay. Yes, of course. That all makes sense. And I haven't seen you in the mind with Mr. Brandyfoot. Is he aware of your ownership of the mine?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Exactly.
Oh, it was,
Exactly.
surely
Mr. Bonneau has been in town like a day, so he has no idea what most of these people,
And I
most of these
believe
people are.
that was a day spent at the gilded cage.
Uh,
Or was it the
close enough. Close enough.
The Silk
Okay.
Canary?
The
Silk Canary? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. The Silk Canary. Seamus, have you seen him in the Silk Canary?
That. He's too small. I can't see anybody in there.
Oh, I don't know if you, gentlemen. I don't want to insult you, but I don't know if you would be of the caliber of man to be allowed into the Silk Canary.
Oh, Jesus.
Marius.
What?
Let's get back to the part where we offered you a job at the mine, Marius. You could really use some work.
A lot of
I'm
time
telling
is
you,
passing
you have a good,
here.
Strong back. You have your head on your shoulders.
We're having such a good time talking. Everybody go ahead and roll me perception checks.
Okay.
Oh, what could go wrong? All right.
Ooh, that's not good for me.
Barely.
Up. These dice are hot. 6.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Out.
I rolled a 90.
Oh, no.
That's not good.
No.
Not good.
I got 6 out of
Seamus.
49.
Seamus?
Seamus got a 48 out of 51.
Okay, all right. So, as you guys are having this conversation, you notice one of those big-ass lizards just staring at you from across the way. Seamus and Mr. Bonneau specifically. It must be facing, like, kind of behind Marius. Marius is oblivious. He's completely oblivious once again. I mean, this thing's massive, and this one's a little bit bigger than the other ones. It's probably a good
Thinking about the
7-8
benefits
feet
he's going to get from that
long.
job.
God. And it's slinking a little bit close. It doesn't look threatening, but it's just kind of unnerving how close it's starting to get to camp. And I'll leave you with that.
It's behind Marius?
It's behind Marius. It's probably about 15, 20 feet away. And it's slowly been kind of nudging its way in your direction as you guys have been talking very boisterously.
Over there. A monster.
I kind of slowly
Marius, that
turn
fits.
my head.
Turn around and scream at it, Marius. You're pretty good at that.
That is. I kind of look at it. I'll stand up and grab my pick. Does it make any movements?
And matter of fact, it's kind of stopped moving. It's just kind of looking, and you wouldn't even know it was there. It kind of blends in to the natural kind of rock. It's almost the same color as the nearby rocks. And it is standing stark still at this point. It's hard to see. But the flicker of its tongue and, of course, its yellow, massive, bulbous eyes give it away. But it's essentially stopped moving.
Is it just like a giant iguana?
It's like, pretty much. It's like a giant iguana just staring at you.
Okay.
And this is on all fours, though, right? All
Yes,
fours?
yeah. It's laying flat against the ground, just kind of tongue flickering in and out and just staring at you.
Seamus, I have a feeling this could go poorly. Save me, and then I will. I kind of start walking towards it, and I'll just kind of give out a bellow, scream at it like Seamus suggested.
Okay, make me an intimidation check.
That's a 41 out of 60.
Oh, yeah, very good. And it rolled not so great. The iguana creature. I mean, in this thing's, it's about 7 or 8 feet long. Marius, as you begin approaching it, it's big. It's large. It's a large creature. And it has a massive, massive jaw. Looks strong. And it just kind of, the eyes kind of dart back and forth looking at you. And the head raises up, and it looks like the mouth's going to open. And you see that there's actually some kind of like mucus dripping off of its fangs inside of its mouth. It has more than one row of teeth. And it starts dribbling down the mouth, and it kind of hisses at you. And with a speed unnatural, it twists its head the opposite direction and just books it away from you. I mean, fast as hell. Just
Oh, good.
gone.
So, look what you've done. Fantastic.
I'm feeling those things will be a trouble for us at nighttime, Seamus.
I feel so. I would like to
Slow
taste
back
this
up.
plutonium.
Ooh.
Wait, what was that saying? I'm sorry, I was watching the monster run away. What did you say?
I didn't say nothing. I had a cough.
The sun is beginning to set at this point. The day is starting to close. With your previous survival checks and, of course, the plethora of nearby wood, dry wood at that, you guys have more than enough wood to make a large fire or a small fire. What would you like to do?
Oh, I'll let Seamus decide.
Seamus always prefers the small fire.
Okay, small fire it is. Got the small fire kicked
Are you
in,
guys-
but no,
did they-
it's not warm, but no, it's enough for light, but it's not that warm, and unnaturally,
I would.
opposed to, the heat of the day. It's cold as shit when the sun goes down out in the desert. So it is actually pretty damn chilly out here. You have, of course, dried, but this is horrible, Mr. Bonneau. It sucks. You want a big fire. You want to feel warm.
And I want to. Here, gentlemen, it's so cold. We need to build this up. And I throw a handful of sticks on it.
Oh, okay. And a little sputter of a crackling flame as his handful of sticks from his very small hands hits the flame.
How does this work? The servants do this at home.
It's true. It's true. They do.
Oh, fuck.
Are we going to have watches?
You know it.
Okay. Who's making the first watch?
Seamus will.
All right. Go ahead and roll me a perception check, Seamus.
Ooh. I'm gonna re-roll that.
Oh.
Don't you worry. Oh, not. Damn it.
I'm
I
worried.
got a 70 out of 51.
Okay. I love it.
We're
It's
doomed.
technically only 1 degree of failure, technically. So Seamus is, taking his watch. The rest, he assures you, the rest of you to get some rest. Marius, you feel at ease. Seamus is, he's usually very perceptive man.
Except for that tiger.
Except for that time with that tiger, that did happen, and it is fresh in your memory as you close your eyes, and a few hours pass, and Seamus, you hear things just out in the distance. It's kind of unnerving. You hear this like weird cawing noise. It's like a throaty kind of creepy, I can't even describe it kind of noise. And it's cawed back and forth out in the distance. You're not exactly sure what the hell it is. But it seems like Marius and Mr. Bonneau are sleeping sound. And the end of your watch comes. Rather uneventful. Who's taking the next one? You only technically need one more.
I'm gonna wake up Marius.
Okay. We wake up Marius. Mr. Bonneau's had a rough time. He probably wouldn't wake up anyway.
Yeah.
So, Marius,
I will get up.
Go ahead and take your perception test.
Okay. Oh, I gotta re-roll that one. I can take a fortune point to re-roll that one.
All right.
That was a 100.
Oh.
All right, that will be 41 out of 45.
Okay. So a success. Good. Likewise, Marius, you hear similar sounds coming from the distance. It's a little disturbing. It's a very odd noise. In addition to that, Marius, something just draws your eye to the sky, and you have, because of your time spent underground, you have a bit of dark vision. Even in the dim light, you see better than most men do in the dark spaces. And you glance up into the night sky, and the night sky here is brilliant. There's not any lights nearby. There's no fires. Yours is the only fire that you can see for miles up here. And you glance up and you hear a cawing noise from above, and you glance up and you'll be damned if you don't see, it looks like some kind of owl, but it is silver.
Son of a bitch.
It looks very familiar. In fact, you attack it?
I don't know with what.
Exactly.
I would just kind of be looking at it.
Okay.
And
It doesn't
my pick and just squeeze it tightly.
Okay. It doesn't appear to be looking at you. You just see it fly overhead, and then go out in the distance.
I wish I had that mask, that raven mask.
Well, unfortunately, it's gone. It's gone.
Oh, I know.
So gone. But you do see that, and the rest of your watch is uneventful. And that concludes your night's rest. I need all of you guys to roll me endurance checks.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right.
We'll start with Marius.
I rolled a 47 out of 60.
Okay. Toughness bonus and wounds plus your success levels is what you would gain in wounds.
Okay. Cool.
Seamus?
I got a 4 out of 65.
Okay, I'll let you do the math. That's quite a bit. You get to regain your toughness bonus
at
plus your
full
success.
health.
Okay, good. Seamus is feeling spry. He's looking good. Mr. Bonneau.
I rolled a 10 out of 52.
Okay, so your toughness bonus plus 4 levels of success. So toughness bonus plus 4 is how many wounds you regain from your night's rest.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm back to full health.
Already. Good.
Oh,
Healing.
Gentlemen, I feel so refreshed.
Mr. Bonneau looks good. Marius, are you full?
Yes, Marius is.
Oh man, in one night, you guys all recovered from that hellish beating you took. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that.
Marius still had a fair amount of health.
Yeah, well, that's
And that
true.
savage
That's true.
hit on the head.
I guess those heal skills, that's going to come in handy. That just means I get to throw more at you. It's going to be great.
No.
So you guys wake up and
Bro, I knew you were going to say that. I knew that literally.
marching order for the day.
Seamus will be out front.
I'd like to cower in the middle.
That's fine. Marius
That's
in the
fine.
back
That's
then.
fine. Yeah.
All right. You easily, without making a check, you easily pick out the path, and you know where you're going. Mary's pointed it out to you the day before, Seamus, and you see the mountain out in the distance. It takes about half the day to get to the base of the mountain. So you're around midday at this point. I'm assuming you guys probably stop and have like a little bit of a meal. You know, you two are used to rationing. Mr. Bonneau, probably not so much, but I'm sure Seamus forces him to do so. But
Does Mr. Bonneau have any rations on him?
you would have whatever your pack has, Brigadine. Do you have rations in your pack?
No.
So you would have to share
do have
rations.
Marius, did you happen to have a little bit extra there? I feel weak. I'm so hungry. I was not expecting this. All I was doing was walking from the Canary back to my hotel, and then this all happened. I'm sorry. I'm very hungry. I'm very hungry.
As I eat my rations, I'll look to Marius. Oh, he wants food from the peasants now, Marius. Oh,
That is to be expected. In fact, I expect 9 out of 10 of your food.
Oh, good.
Oh, sure.
That is just that is the law of the land, the king's law.
We
Fuck
have
the
no
king.
king in the empire. And I kind of chuckle. It's like, I don't believe you know where you are, sir. We are not in Britonia. The empire has elections, and it's quite
Yes,
different.
I've heard of this. Your strange, archaic ways. It's okay. It's okay.
It's quite progressive. And I hand him some of my rations.
Okay.
Begrudgingly, like
You
may
just-
Sigma bless me for for putting up dealing with this
yes.
heathen. And
If Marius
Oh,
had lost a resilience point at this point, he would be getting it back, but he hasn't. So you begrudgingly give him some rations.
yes.
Marius, the lady that like blesses you for your generosity and your kindness.
I put my hand up. I do not care about your lady's blessing. And I will say, what I do
Marius.
care for. Yes, Seamus.
Remember that time you got into a religious debate with our friend Gerard and he just disappeared in the middle of the night?
Ooh, that would be nice, and I read about now. And then
It's unfortunately midday. You finish your meal.
yes.
You've got a bit of a climb. Nothing too hard. Nothing that you guys are going to need to make tests for. In fact, you're not going to, because it looks like there's more of a path here, similar to when you were back in the kind of like jungle area. This, however, looks more intact, though it looks very uncared for, and you can tell that there's a road here. And Marius and Seamus specifically, because of the architecture of the road, you can definitely tell there's something familiar about it, and then it clicks with you. It looks very, very similar to the cobblestone road that leads into the mine in Sealberg. Almost identical, in fact, which is a little unnerving. But you go another few hours up this mountain, and then you obviously have found your destination. Because it is opulent. It is just a massive structure that you just kind of come up over the lip of one of these, almost like a broken pieces of staircase. And you come up over the top of that, and then you see before you. Well, first off, do we want to do a group perception check, or just all of you guys roll perception?
Probably group. I would say.
Okay, go ahead and make me. I'm assuming Seamus is the go-to guy. Plus 20.
Yeah.
Close one this time. 67 out of 71.
Okay, good. It's still a success.
What's in your LIC?
Oh, Jesus. So, you guys crest over the top, and you guys see before you a massive gate built into the stone of the mountain itself. It is easily 60 feet tall and at least 40 or 50 feet wide. The door itself is carved from some beautiful marble and inlaid with massive red rubies and various jewels and diamonds. Two large faces dominate the mountain beside the doorway on each side. They are depicting a dwarf that none of you would recognize. Marius, no, you wouldn't recognize the dwarf. But you might guess, you know what, Marius, you might be able to guess that this is a depiction of one of the ancestor gods, because you just the amount of time you spent in the mine and then around dwarves.
Okay.
You don't know which one. That's not obvious to you, but it looks like it. The door itself is shut, except are you guys going to approach, or are you just going to stay farther back?
Oh, look at this place. Finally, some civilization. Ah, let's go closer. Let's see if we can get inside.
Okay. And as you...
lead the way.
Oh, Mr. Bonneau's leading? I love it. Mr. Bonneau leading the way at the prospect of civilization.
At that.
And
So happy to get out of the wilderness.
this place does look... I mean, it's obviously very, very rich, but it looks old. Very, very, very old. There's lots of... some of the stonework has fallen off pieces of the doorway. It hasn't been very kept up. The statue themselves look like they've weathered over time, which is not something that usually happens to dwarven architecture. So that's a big red flag to all of you, except for probably Bonneau. He doesn't see a lot of dwarf stuff up until he got to Sealberg. But there is also a massive hole in the right door, Seamus. It's about a 10 by 10 hole that looks like it was just blown out of the door. And it's obvious that it was blown out from the inside because the pieces of the door are littered in front of it where you are approaching from. Big slabs of marble that are just littered across this way. And it looks like there's some kind of singe marks around the edges. What would you guys like to do?
Marius, I think this is what Mother Inga was wanting us to go.
Well, it appears they just had some
Seamus.
festival or attorney here. It's a bit of a mess.
Yes, go play in the mess.
There could be one reason, Master Bretonian. And Seamus, I am worried about what blew out the store. It's not an easy thing to destroy dwarf craftsmanship.
Look on the bright side, maybe whatever blew it out has left.
That is possible. I believe we should approach stealthily. Hopefully our new master friend over here knows how to be quiet.
Maybe you should go first, Marius. I think you're pretty adept at seeing in the dark.
That is true. I'll probably start prepping.
What
my
are you
mining
talking about? I
stuff.
shout across at them.
I was young. Oh yeah, young lord, please.
Yes,
Come
yes,
here.
yes.
Yes, we are going inside of there, and we like to have a stealth approach. Do you know how to be quiet?
Of course. But knows how to sneak out the house and go to the servants' quarters at night and not have father catch him.
Oh my.
Oh my,
Well-
and with that,
I was
go
known
ahead
as
and
quite
roll
the
me
rake
some
back
stealth
home.
checks.
Okay.
Ooh, oh,
Nice.
so close to a crit.
Is that just agility?
It
I
is
don't have
agility.
Any points and stuff.
It's if you don't have any points, it's just agility.
Most smooth. Marius rolled 19 out of 26. So
Okay,
just
good.
I rolled a 36 out of 33.
Okay, you have 2 fortune points. You can use one to add 10. You can add a success level to your roll, so you could use it to succeed if you choose.
Yeah.
Okay, and Seamus.
24 out of 27.
Oh man. Okay, so this is uncharacteristic of what usually happens. But you, with Marius leading the way now, Marius, are you going to light the candle on your head?
Probably not.
Okay.
I do have also, just to remind you, I do have the tunnel rat skill.
Yes.
I don't know if it will apply. But
We'll find out.
Okay.
In
But
a loud whisper, I say, "Somebody, I need the light."
yeah, I mean, Marius, you can see in there just from some of the light coming in, but Seamus and Brigadine, you see nothing. It's black as hell inside of this this dwarven hold. So you're following. You all kind of slip in, rather stealthily behind Marius, and it might be out of just how quiet it is, and it's a little unnerving. You all get a waft of kind of a cold breeze as you pass through the doorway. And you are inside of this ancient dwarven carrack. Marius, you can see somewhat in here, but even your vision relies on some source of light. and the only light source is coming from the hole behind you currently. So you can see to a certain point ahead of you, but after that it drops off into blackness.
Okay. I'll probably, knowing that, and knowing that probably the two men behind me are probably just seeing nothing currently.
Yes.
I will probably light the candle on my helm.
It's a small, and it's and it's easily dimmed if you need it to be. It's a very small light, in fact, but it's enough to kind of give them a point of reference and kind of light up around you or the immediate floor. And of course, you can see quite a distance now with the dim light. So you pick out that this is definitely the entrance tunnel, and it looks like at one point it was very, very opulent. This was you just get a sense of wealth, of prestige, but at the same time seeing it in such disarray. And you can definitely tell, you specifically, Marius, the rest of you can't really pick out details, that what little bit of architecture that you can still make out on the walls and everything, that the beautiful chiseled tapestries and just everything you could think of that this hold would have on display upon its entrance has been defaced. It's been obviously sabotaged. You're not sure by what or who, but it looks like somebody went out of their way to break and destroy. There are stains across much of the inside of this tunnel, dark stains. In the low light, you can't really discern what it is. But, and this tunnel goes on for quite some time. I'm assuming you are just
it
keep
appears
going
there's
forward.
been vandals in here.
Mr.
Yes.
Brigadine sees nothing. He sees around you.
No.
He cannot see the walls. The walls are about 30 or 40 feet to your left and your right, both. So this is about an 80-foot wide tunnel. You can just barely see the edge of it, Marius, with your kind of darkened vision. The rest of you, you don't see. You can see around you, and it just looks like darkness off in the distance. You have no idea how wide or how deep this thing goes. Marius has more of a sense than the other two.
Do I recognize any of the defacing, or is it just like breaking of?
Unless you got much closer, it just looks like something smashed the walls. And as you glance behind you at the door, you notice that there are massive holes in the door behind you, and it looks like the hole that you went through just happens to be one that punched through. And they're all about that size. They're all about like a 10 by 10 massive hole.
Okay. I'll probably just be continuing on if the party's behind me.
Okay. Continuing forward, and the rest of you, probably a little shakily, follow Marius. You, at this point, I'm going to need everyone except for Marius to make cool tests.
Ooh, I critted. 22.
Oh, wow, good. How about Mr. Brigadine?
Oh, I got 53 out of 60.
Oh, wow, good. Very good. So, with a success, you do not lose your shit. Seamus,
Oh no.
though this is unnerving, being underground and it being so dark, you've been in the mines before, Seamus. So this is it's a little concerning at first, but you easily dismiss it, and you are a cool customer. Brigadine, this is slightly terrifying. Not being able to see around you is a very horrifying experience, but you manage to stifle your more cowardly urges and follow your companions. It's at this point that Marius, and this goes on for about 2 hours of you walking down this hallway. There are rooms off to the side. Would you like to investigate them, or do you want to keep going down the hall?
Marius would probably be pretty curious, so yes, he'd probably try to investigate some of the rooms.
Okay.
Maybe not every single
off.
one, but the occasional one that might look interesting.
Okay, you kind of veer off at the first one you come across. This was about 20 minutes in to your walk, and you kind of glance inside, and it just looks like another tunnel. There's thick layers of dust on the floor. Doesn't look very traveled. The one you're in now, though there is a lot of defacement, it looks like there is a path that you're kind of walking on in the dirt itself. So it looks like this is a well-traveled tunnel despite its age, which might be a little concerning. But would you like to go down the dusty tunnel?
Probably not. He would probably assume that the main tunnel would lead to the goal, as far as like what Mother Inga had planned, or whatever these people would have held valuable, So
yes. So
yeah,
keeping that in mind, you come across a few more junctions like this, and a very similar scene plays out each time you kind of duck in and glance. And some of them are actual rooms, massive rooms, full of just defaced furniture and statues that have been crumbled into nothing. And you do get glimpses of like gold and precious metals scattered about in certain places. Would you like to pick any up, Marius, or anyone, in fact?
Can they see them? Can they see the gold?
If you get close enough, they can.
I guess he would get kind of close enough to the gold. I don't know.
Okay. They're not coins.
Might feel pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not like coins or anything like that. This is like, it looks like this used to be like pieces of furniture. Like it was just made out of gold. And something crushed it. And there's just pieces of just like raw, like gold just laying around in certain places.
Maybe later for Marius, but he would get close enough to take an examine, I guess. So
okay. So Seamus and Brigadine, you see this. Would you like to swipe it?
Oof. Seamus would not.
Okay. Mr. Benoit?
Oh, is there any, oh, look at this, some gold here. We have some back at the home, but, can I see if there's a small piece to pick up and put in my bag?
Easily done. How big of a piece would you want?
Oh, I don't know. Something about maybe size of his hand. That's not too heavy though. Gold can be so heavy.
That's a sizable piece of gold.
There is a piece of what looks like used to be a chair, like the leg of a chair, and there's a piece broken off about the size of your fist, laying there, solid gold.
Yoinks.
Would you like to collect it?
I would. I'm going to regret this. Oh, hold on. Father will be so proud if I bring this home to him. Let me grab this here. And I would like to pick it up.
Marius would probably, as he grabs it, be like, Master Benoit, do you have experience with the dowry dwarfs?
No, not at all. Why do you ask?
Well, they have been known to hold grudges. They get quite upset at the smallest of slights. I would just warn you, be careful who you show that gold piece to. If you show it to, say, a dwarf that you know. I know they're rare, especially in Bretonia, but just be careful. Things could go poorly quite quickly, and I kind of let him do him. You know, do
words of wisdom. Oh. Mr. Bruno swipes the gold. It's too late. He's made his decision.
Oh yeah, I got it.
He swipes it.
Put it in my bag.
He puts it in his pack,
Of course,
and
thank you.
it's heavy. I mean,
yes.
it's heavy, but you could carry it, and you feel all the better about it. I mean, you can only imagine how much that piece of gold is worth. You can't wait to appraise it. In fact, especially since your money is run rather dry of late. Your stipend hasn't been coming in as much as it used to, but this might help. Father might be just a little askew of brigading. But regardless, after swiping that gold, you guys continue to make it down the hall, Marius leading the way. And you come to a very interesting structure. It looks like there is just an empty chasm before you. And it looks like there's some kind of strange device. And that's where we're going to take our first break, gentlemen.